Well, hey everyone, DJ Bretley here, and I'm getting ready to put this gig log up on my channel, but I figured before I did, I should give a little prelude about yesterday and how everything was going and the elements of the day. So, yesterday was about 90, 95 degrees, about 85, 90% humidity, with storms in the forecast for the entire day off and on. So now, luckily, my gear was already set or already at the venue, so it only took me about 90 minutes to get everything set up, dialed in, and ready to go for the day. But ceremony was supposed to happen outside yesterday at the barn on Southridge. And with that, we were looking at the rain, and it started raining pretty well right when the ceremony was supposed to happen. So the couple made the decision to bring the ceremony inside, which all they really had to do was move the arch, which was a beast. This arch was huge, gorgeous, but huge and really heavy. So they had one ceremony spot in mind, but when they put it in the venue, they didn't like how it sat. So they moved it to a second spot in the venue, which was more ideal, closer to the DJ booth, closer to the mics, and gave me a better view of everything. So, as we get into the day, we get through the ceremony, but that pushed everything about an hour late. And dinner showed up right before the ceremony even started. So, for a reminder for everyone, if things are running late, have the wherewithal to contact the caterer because they're bringing food that's partially prepped or in chafing dishes and has a limited amount of time it can be in those dishes before it goes bad. So if you're gonna run late, give your caterer a heads up. But anyway, so the caterer yesterday, Fathead Steve's, one of my absolute favorite caterers, food truck. They're great. But they showed up right when the ceremony was about to start. So I had to grab the wedding planner or coordinator and get everything settled with them. Then we got the ceremony going. Ceremony was pretty simple, pretty quick, easy. And then from there, once they cleared everything away from the dance floor because of the weather, the dance floor itself started accumulating humidity and moisture. So it got real slippery real fast because of how hot and humid it was. So we did the Grand March, and we had to give everybody a heads up. Be super careful when you get to the dance floor. We don't want any spills. Ambulance Buddy has been my good luck charm since Takata put it in the DJ Mobile, and yeah. So we didn't have any spills for the Grand March. Now, we grabbed a couple of the big industrial fans they had in the building and took them off of people, but put them on the dance floor to get it ready for dancing. So, once that we got all dinner and cake and everything out of the way, we were about an hour behind still. So, we took all the dances and put them together kind of in one lump sum. Generally in a Midwest wedding, you'll do the Grand March, or in Wisconsin Midwest, I should say. It's different in other parts of the Midwest. But you do the Grand March, sit down, eat, speeches, cake cutting, spotlight dances, dance everybody for a little bit, then do like the dollar dance and the tosses right then and there. But yesterday, because we were behind and the photographer had to capture some of it, we just got through and did all the dances at once. So the 3 spotlight dances, anniversary dance, and dollar dance, we did all in one lump sum, which took about 40 minutes because there was an enormous line for the dollar dance. Now, normally dollar dance doesn't take that long, but because you could see people were getting ready to leave and everything like that, we wanted to keep their attention, do the dollar dance, and then anybody who wanted to leave could without feeling like they're obligated to stay for any of the other primary or extracurricular functions from this reception. So once we got through all of that, the rainstorm came down hard. And luckily, when it did, it cooled the rest of the room off, so the dance floor dried up real quick. And from there on out, it was a great celebration. And it was a wedding reception that I wasn't allowed to play group participation dances like Cupid Cha-Cha, but more and more lately, I've been trying not to. I wasn't allowed any country except for one song, Man, I Feel Like a Woman, and I wasn't allowed to play it until the end of the night, the very last song of the night. But in the mix last night, I had some house, EDM, and dubstep, in addition to the top 40 and classic rock and hip hop. But that was my entire selection of music I was given to work from last night, and it went amazingly well. So, check out the rest of this gig log. If you like what you see, like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks. See you all around.
And we're heading to the barn on Southridge. Felicia and Ambulance Buddy are all good to go. So is Takata. And we are in Crescent, Minnesota, heading to the gig now. I'll check in with everyone once I'm all there, loaded in and set up. Here's my ceremony setup for today. I'm 20 feet away from the altar. There's where the congregation will be seated. And today I'm using a Behringer speaker for my ceremony kit, mainly because I had it here last week and I had to lend another DJ some of my gear who works for me, so we're using that. I've got my Phoenix PTU 5000 in here, 4 microphones at my disposal, and I added something. It's a Rapco Horizon adapter for my iPad to go in here, so I have better control and better tonal quality of my iPad as well. But that's what it looks like for me today. The apple orchard is in full bloom and dropping apples behind us. And yeah, I guess we're good to go, folks. And so I am set up here at the barn on Southridge. If you've been on my YouTube channel, you've seen this setup before. My usual white setup. It seems to be the most in-demand one. I've got my energy drink and Cheez-Its behind the booth. And as usual, I'm using my Soundtown 15-inch subwoofers, my Mackie Sub 15As, 2 Chauvet Intimidator 150s, 8 Chauvet R56. And let's see here, behind the booth, I'm using my DDJ RZ today, in addition to using my MacBook Pro. Of course, I'm using record box lighting mode, but there's my RZ with the RB DMX1, and I've got to put on lighting mode here in just a minute. Got my Phoenix Pro PTU 4000 mics and Phoenix Pro soundboard inside my command center. My uplights today, I have behind the head table, and here inside my totems, I am using Rockville Best Par 50s. But that's the long and the short of it from the barn on Southridge here today. And so I've actually had to pull my speaker in a little bit on the cement block, but underneath the awning up here, because you guessed it, it's about to start pouring. And my couple, Jess and Matt, are about to make the decision if they're going to bring the ceremony inside. In which case, I would do everything off my main setup, and I'm assuming they'd have the altar somewhere right around here. But we're going to find out in just a little bit. And so the call has been made. We're actually going to be doing the ceremony inside, and they're rearranging the entire room to make it happen. So I'm going to run sound and everything off my main setup today. But because I need a little bit more kit to the main part of the room, I've got the speaker I was using outside and as my floor monitor facing inside to the room to give a little bit more volume across to the other side. Especially with the tin ceiling, rain, and all these fans in here today, it's probably for the best I did bring extra speakers. All right, fam, I'll check in with you later. And as a DJ, something that makes me very happy is seeing one of my favorite caterers with their food truck here at today's celebration. It's Fathead Steve's, and they have got some bomb food. And well, it appears we have changed the ceremony spot inside. So it was originally going to be over there if it was inside, but I'm guessing with the glass windows behind it all, it was bad for photography because it's so bright. Or the open windows, I should say. So we've moved it over here where it's a little bit darker, and we're going to have to fight less lighting. But that's where we're at for today's ceremony. We're going to be starting in about 20 minutes. So a quick side note with today, I don't very often get to work out of my main crate at a wedding, but I've been given explicit instructions. We're getting down tonight, we're getting ratchet, play all the unedited versions. So tonight, we're working out of my main bitch.
Amazing. Congratulations. So everyone, it is my true pleasure and honor to welcome you all to Matt and Jess's wedding reception.
So one problem with bad weather like rain in a barn like this is the condensation on the dance floor. And yes, they've squeegeed it and dry mopped it a couple of times now. So it might become a problem later this evening.
Not so much? Yeah, I got it.